What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to part 2 of my 300th episode special. Everything kind of went out of control when it comes down to all the insanity that's happening in the world right now. To briefly touch upon that, I previously mentioned COVID-19, and that's still very terrifying, especially cases on the rise everywhere, including my state, Texas. It's a nightmare as of filming this, and it sucks, and I'm hoping for the best that things will get better. And then, of course, everything against police brutality, racism, all of that happened with George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor, just to name a few people that should be here today, but they are unfortunately not. And may they rest in peace, and justice hopefully will prevail in the cause against police brutality and the systemic problems that are happening within our country and the world, and but all of that negativity. The wonderful positive thing that has happened is there's been slowly but surely change and unity amongst a lot of people out in the world supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, and that's just the thing right there. Black lives indeed matter. People deserve justice. People deserve to live life without having to worry. Not to be very heavy-handed right off the bat, but I feel like, I need to address these things. Black Lives Matter is something we need to support. We need to learn and listen and be better. There's no real way to segue from that, but I wanted to talk about some things that make me happy and maybe will make you happy, and that is all things Batman and DC, and I wanted to showcase my collection thus far. So sit back, grab some popcorn and a soda, and let's get right down to checking out my entire DC and television show collection. Just dive into the VHS tapes first. I got a lot of piles here. We got the quadrilogy of Batman films. You have Batman 89, and my personal favorite out of all these is Batman Returns. Fantastic movie film right there, my favorite. And I'm happy I found this a little while back, and that is the special widescreen edition of Batman Forever, and of course Batman and Robin, one of the best unintentional comedies of all time. And rest in peace to Joel Schumacher. And while these movies in particular imploded the whole Batman franchise, for better or for worse, they were a part of my childhood, and say what you will about them, this was a solid enough effort. It was goofy, campy. This one was just nothing but cheesiness, but I love the character designs, and I love the colorfulness of everything. I mean, look at the cover itself. It's just awesome. I say what you will about them, but I enjoy them. Next up is something that was a holy grail of mine, and that is Batman Begins. Ah, my God. I still couldn't believe I found it. It wasn't even in the movie section. It was just kind of tossed aside somewhere off by the TVs or something, and I couldn't believe what I was looking at. So, yes, one of my grails was obtained that day. Going into something other than Batman, I still have not seen this. I need to, though, and that is the Flash 90s show. Yeah, this is, I think, the pilot, I think. So that was pretty cool to find. Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, the cool clamshell. I'm mainly keeping this, not only because it's not rare, but it's uncommon. I'm keeping this because this is the, I think just the regular cut, actually. The PG cut or whatever. Well, it says not rated. But there is the PG-13 unrated cut that was like just mind-blowingly good. And even the regular cut, the TV cut or whatever cut you want to call this, still fantastic. So I'm happy to own it. Next up is Batman Mask of the Phantasm in the clamshell, and the last of the VHS tapes, and that is Batman the movie in the cool clamshell release. Love all the villains sprinkled up at the top there. This is like one of those classic films. It's just ridiculous, cheesy goodness. And I just realized something. 20th Century Fox owns this, which is now owned by Disney. Does that make this version of Batman a Disney character? Interesting. The Batman. It was lighthearted enough with just a tad bit of that Batman edge, but after season 2, they really dropped the ball on that. I think it was after they made this movie, Batman vs. Dracula, which I find very underrated. It's a fun enough movie. It's kind of an obvious concept, but it's fun. And I don't know. I think the Batman gets a little bit of a bum rap. Also, to me, arguably, in terms of television, the most underrated Joker, Kevin Michael Richardson. That guy knocked it out of the park with this version of the Joker. A lot of people hated this show, and that is Gotham. You know, it got seasons 1, season 2, and 3, and the 5th season. I need season 4.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special PSA.
What's up, everybody? I'm here to tell you all a little bit of how to mask. It's a very simple notion, really. Protecting yourself and others when you go out in public in the midst of a pandemic is probably something we all should really care about. I feel that it's nice to repeat these things at the moment, you know, just in case if some people are a little uncertain and not knowing how to mask properly, as well as taking other precautions. So, first up, you get your mask here. Pretty simple, you know, a little cloth mask, you know, you just place it over your face like so. And there we go. You're just going to make sure it covers your nose, your mouth, and up to your chin here, you know, because this, of course, is the proper way to wear it. Here's some ways not to mask, though. Don't do this. Or this. Because this, right here, defeats the purpose of protecting yourself and others. Now, the basic gist to a mask is to protect others from the droplets that we let out once we speak, when we cough, sneeze, scream. And that is the way the virus spreads the most. So, again, that is why most officials and people like Dr. Fauci are expressing for us to wear masks whenever we're out in public. It's just a nice, courteous thing to do. Now, the other ways we can take precaution, of course, is washing our hands for about 20 seconds, as well as staying socially distant by about 6 feet, and not touching our face. Yeah, those are the basic precautions, as well as generally just how to mask. And it's a bummer that people are making it a political statement, a religious statement, or a sign of weakness. I assure you it's neither of those things. And it shouldn't be considered as such, because this is just the simplest way we can protect ourselves and others around us in the world that we have to live in these days in the midst of a pandemic. This thing shows strength, because it shows you have courtesy and care for your fellow human beings. Don't be a weenie and not wear a mask, because that's just not cool. Be a cake. Yeah, be a cake. Or a cookie. You know, cookies are good too. So yeah, thanks for listening, folks.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled program.
The same with the CW shows, which we'll dive in right now. Let's see, I got only the first season of Supergirl with the Target exclusive lenticular slip. Arguably the best Arrowverse show right now. Legends of Tomorrow. This show, fan-fucking-tastic. It started off a little rocky. I have the first season and the third season, and I'm hoping to get the second and the fourth season and then the fifth season. But this show in particular, yes, it was that classic group of misfits concept, and it kind of evolved into something better, and it almost became that time travel villain of the week show, but then it dove into deeper things of exploring and growing with these particular misfit characters, actually them having chemistry, and it's just a lot of fun. It's just a fun time travel show with the Arrowverse stuff kind of mixed in there, and it's really great. The Flash. Got the Target exclusive lenticular cover. Then I got the Best Buy exclusives of Season 2, the Steelbook, and the Season 3 Steelbook with Savitar on there, which was a role uncredited from Tobin Bell there, which was great. When I heard that voice, I'm all like, that's Jigsaw right there, man. That's awesome. And that season. Although this season right now that was airing was probably the worst. It was worse than that. Not just because of the pandemic shutting it down, but it's just awful. But to be honest, the first 3 seasons I don't think will ever be topped. I highly doubt it. Especially the third season was really intense. It was great. And again, you had a really solid villain, and it was explored really well. Sometimes shows just run their course, and you know, we saw Arrow finally finish its run, and that definitely should have ended a little while ago. So I don't know. I don't know if the next season will be its last whenever they come back into production.